When you hear Africa, what comes to your mind?
Water. Food.
What did you say? What did she say?
She said she should have said less water.
Less water? That's a violation.
No food.
No food.
No food. No, poor. Poor.
What country are you from?
Syria.
Oh, both of you.
Hi there. Can I ask a question?
Oh, yes.
Is it true that people in Africa are poor? Hey, sorry, I'm talking to you.
Sorry, do you have £10 there, please? Could you lend me £10?
Oh, no, I don't have money.
You don't have money?
No.
And you are busy looking for poor people.
Oh, well.
Hello kings and queens, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am the Kenyan Beast. Of course, returning subscriber, you are holding me so tight. Thank you so much for coming back and watching my videos. I love you so much. And if you love, you can join the membership, please. New subscribers, I love you. Come here. If you love here, like this video, share, and you can join the membership too. Now, in today's video, we are talking about how white people think of Africa. How white people think of Africans. There's a video, there's these young ladies. That video went viral on TikTok and it caught my eyes. These white ladies, I think they're from Syria, maybe. They're Arabs, but they were asked, when you hear about Africa, what do you think? And there's a way they answered, and people get irritated. But for me, I understood because their age, according to how they are teens, there's, the history they are learning about Africa, how they are being told about Africa, how they see Africa from the media. It may confuse their mind, until you come to Africa. That's where you will realize the beauty of Africa. Now, let's watch this video and then let's talk about it as we do always.
When you hear Africa, what comes to your mind?
Water. Food.
What did you say? What did she say?
She said she should have said less water.
Less water? That's a violation.
No food.
No food.
No food. No, poor. Poor.
What country are you from?
Syria.
Oh, both of you.
Now, welcome back. After this video, they say, what do you think about Africa? Lack of water, poverty, they are very poor. When I see Africa, I see jiggers. When I see Africa, I see children crying. When I see Africa, I see people sleeping in forests. When I see Africa, I see nothing good. But I don't blame them. What I'm blaming is international media like BBC, or they only take the past that it feels sorrow about Africa, and which it's not bad to showcase, but we have better places in Africa. So a lot of people came and commented about this. They reacted. Let's watch how they said, how they reacted on this, and we will come back with my own reaction. And I want you to tell me on the comment section, do you feel irritated? Do you feel guilty? Do you feel, or what will you tell these young kids? Let's watch and then we will come back.
You know the video of the Syrian girl that was basically like, Africans are poor, and she starts laughing. I have an unpopular opinion on that, right? Because to me, that girl looked like she was a child. Maybe it's because I'm older, and when I see kids in high school, they just look so much younger to me. She was giving me 15 years old, right? I don't know how old she is. If you know her age, comment down below. What she said was stupid, ignorant, really bold of her to say that, actually. But for people to all come together and to start bullying this 15-year-old girl, I don't know about that. I know it's not the same thing at all. Like, I was going to compare it to, like, the World Cup, that Moroccan girl. It's not the same thing at all. But I don't know. Just this idea of, like, kids being bullied by a bunch of people online, like, I definitely believe that if you say some dumb shit, you should face the consequences. But everyone coming together and bullying a child for saying some dumb shit when we've all said dumb shit in the past, I don't agree with that. Anyways, what do you guys think? Do you think she deserves the hate, or do you think it's gone too far, like I think? Thank God there was no TikTok when I was that age, because I would be getting cancelled every day.
So why did this girl post a TikTok of her asking a question? The question was, what is the first thing you think about when you hear about the continent of Africa? Why did this girl, who is from Syria, mind you, And if you don't know what's going on or what was going on or what is going to go on in Syria, go Google it. She literally laughs and she's like, poor. Oh, wait, no. Hungry, no food. Like, girl, no one's laughing but you and your idiot friends. It's just frustrating because for years, being an African woman, for years, we have gotten no respect from any POC. Obviously, not all POCs disrespect African people, but you know what I'm trying to say. There's no solidarity, there's no respect, there's no unification amongst POCs because no matter what, African people are going to be seen as the bottom of the barrel, and it's just not fair. We are getting more developed as we speak. We're not the same country we were however many years ago, so it's unfair that we are held to that low standard. And I refuse for that to happen. I'm tired of the stereotypes. I'm tired of the disrespect. And it's crazy that we're getting disrespect from countries that have the same problems, if not worse. Because let's be real. There's people in America who are poor and hungry, but they never get disrespected like people from Africa do. It's not fair. It's the same situation like what happened in Ukraine. When Ukraine was going through that war and getting demolished and they needed help and support from everybody, but they still had time to be racist and not allow African people to ride their transit. Or like that one time during the whole coronavirus where African people were trying to go into restaurants in China and they were literally banned. It said on the paper, no African people allowed. Like, we can't win. This is why when like other countries, continents say we need support from everyone with whatever's going on in the country, I look at it with a side eye because y'all will never support African people when they're going through their stuff, because we all remember what happened with Ebola and how many jokes were flying on Twitter, how many people were disrespecting African people. And it's just like, y'all disrespect us on a daily basis, but then you want like us to rally for you. And like I said, take this with a grain of salt if you know you don't do this. I'm talking about people that know they have this, that have this mentality. If you don't do this, take it with a grain of salt and move, but still educate people who act like this. I'm just tired. This is just getting repetitive and dumb.
Welcome back. Now, what white people think about Africa is different from what Africans think about white people. Africans think of white people, rich people. Africans think about white people, good people with good heart. We think them about people who are helping. We think about them, people who are near God. We think about them, people who brought education, people who brought Christianity. We only think good things about white people, unless you study or you learn about everything. That's where you will open your eyes and see a lot of things that we don't know. But white people who have not come yet to Africa, when you ask them about Africa, most of them will just think about poverty. They just think about lack of water, lack of shelter, lack of education, lack of a health system. There's a lot to think about Africa in a negative way, according to what we see on TV. That this white guy came to South Sudan to create some documentary, and it showed me there's other part of Africa that we need to learn. Africans are going through a lot. South Sudans are going through a lot. And somebody's being paid $30 per month, $20. It is like, what will you do with $20 per month? I was like, yo, this is a country that is full of oil. And I don't blame these kids thinking about poverty of Africa, but we are being designed to be poor by the white supremacy. We were being designed to be less than everyone. We were being designed to be followers. We were being designed to think that nothing good can come out of Africa. But deep down, we got everything. Deep down, we are the richest. Deep down, we are better than any other continent in face of earth. These ladies are from Syria. A lot of bombs going on across Syria. When you see images, what is happening in Syria, it's nothing good. But they won't think about that. They know they are better than Africa. They know they are better than Congo. They know they are better than Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ghana, Nigeria. They know that because of the media what the media shows. When you type Africa on your YouTube, type Africa somewhere else, it brings you just to negative things about Africa. Drought, students not going to school, barefoot, living in forest, And again, I want to say, I'm not going to blame the white people. I'm not going to blame the colonizers. I'm not going to blame the white supremacy for making Africa look poor. I'm going to blame the black people, black leaders, black politicians who are continuing the legacy of the colonizers. I'm going to blame the leaders of Africa who are playing the part of colonizers indirectly. I'm going to blame the black leaders who are the puppets of the white people. I'm going to blame the black leaders who they don't want their black brothers to grow. I'm going to blame the black leaders who does not look at about the economy of the country. I'm going to blame the black leaders who is just feeding himself but not feeding the children of Africa. That's what I'm going to blame. Because Africa was colonized by white people, and the white people left. They left a colonizer, indirect colonizer, in the hands of a black person. We vote every time, and when we vote, these black brothers, these black politicians, they come and tell us they're going to change this and this. But 5 years, they are being controlled by the system. They are being controlled by the white supremacy, and they accept to be controlled. Why don't you just quit? Why don't you just say we don't need France? Why don't you just say we don't need you to come in our matters? Why don't you just play and build your country? If you are taking this country as your home, if you want this country to be like as your house, why don't you build your country? Yet we have anything that it takes. We are capable of doing that. Make new friends. Make new white friends. If it's Russia, if it's China, if British is taking you away in a bad way, make new friends with Russia, China, name them, Ukraine. Because we have what they want, they have what we want. We can do better. So the issue of poverty in Africa is the issue that I don't want to bring white people in it. Yes, the white people are the one in control, but we can make a U-turn. We can make a U-turn and make Africa great again. It's so awkward to see people of Africa cannot access to good roads. I see Liberia, I see documentaries, Nigeria, population is high, Nigerians are very go-getters, but their economy is going down because their leaders, what they do is just looting, corruption, stealing, and using the money to enrich themselves. I don't want to say that white people, yes, they think Africa to be poor. It's okay. But all this shame is brought by our own black brothers. All these wars you see in Congo is brought by our own black brothers. All these coups that's happening in Africa is by black brothers. And those black people are being forced to do this, or not forced, they are being sponsored to do this by the white supremacy. What if you say no? What if the other brothers say no? What if the opposition say no? What if the government say no? Let's make a U-turn. Let's make a new Africa. Let's make a new country. And this will only be done by the youths of today. This will only be done by the youths who don't have colonial mind. This will only be done by the youths who don't have tribalism. This will only be done by the youths who speak one language, like the Gen Z. One language, one party, one everything, leaderless. But we have a mission, and the mission is to change how the world is viewing Africa. Our president doing something bad, we tell him, you know what? We don't want this. We don't want this LGBTQ. It's not our culture. We don't want this. It's not our culture. We don't want this. It's not for us. We want this and this and this. Build our country. Don't go and look for jobs in Germany. Now they are starting to view as Africa is very poor. We cannot create jobs. Here in Africa, we are very rich. In Kenya, we plant sugar. There's a place, there's sisal. There's mining. There's a mining going on in Tsavo. No one is knowing about it. There's a sugar company is lying dead. It's somewhere in Mumias. No one is knowing about it. It's doing something. But if we start running these things up, we can employ and create jobs. Mr. Beast came to Kenya and built some wells. Things that a government can do. But where do they take the money? Their pockets. So I can hereby defend this young lady saying that white, when they think about Africa, they think about poverty, they think about lack of water. It's true, because that's how we are being viewed. And yes, on the ground, we don't have water. On the ground, there's a people living less than $1 a day. In the ground, there's a people who can't have 3 meals a day. On the ground in African countries, there's people who can't afford house. They are living in shambles. They are living in towns. They are living in a place where a man cannot live. It is true. Yes, when I think of Africa, I think of poverty. When I think of Africa, I think of education, less education. I think of lack of healthy system, good health system. I think of bad roads. I think of insecurities. Because these things are here. We have to talk. For us to change Africa, we have to inject. For us to inject, we have to change. Africa is home. There is no changing. We are not going anywhere else. Kenya is home. Tanzania, Nigeria, Ghana, South Sudan is home. That Congo that people are fighting for the resources is home. Burkina Faso is home of black people. So we're not going anywhere. We are not going to Germany to build Germany. We are not going to Canada to build Canada. We are not going to Dubai to build Dubai, nor Qatar, nor Saudi Arabia. We want to build our country. And we want to hold these leaders accountable to make sure that we are on the track. There's a time Singapore and China, they were less than Africa. Kenya was ahead of Singapore. South Africa was ahead of China. Kenya was ahead of China. But right now, China is helping us to build our country because we are taking our brains out. We have engineers. We have financial advisors. We have everyone, but they cannot practice their work here. They are going out. And yet, they can practice here and be paid here. So, how whites think about Africa, I don't care. What I care is that how whites will think about Africa 25 years to come. How whites will think about Africa in the next generation. They will think about Africa as a poor continent, or they will think about Africa as a rich continent. They will think about Africans as the most educated people, or they think about Africa as the less educated people. They will think about Africa as the most industrialized and economized nation, or they will think about Africa as less economical. That's what we are targeting. Whatever is happening today, let them think that Africa is poor. Let them think, but let us think as Africans. Let us not complain. Let us not go into quarrels and war that they say this. Let us go to the ground and work. Let us bring leaders who are youths, who don't have colonial mind. There are some leaders who are in power more than 38 years. Museveni, the likes of Museveni. But when you bring a youth leader who need change, he will change these things under 5 years. See Ibrahim Traore what he's doing. So tell me in the comment section what do you think about this topic. Let's more discuss about this one. Tell me what do you think. Please, you can join my membership. You can subscribe and like on this YouTube channel. I am the Kenyan Beast, of course. We are doing it the African way, and Africa must rise. The youths, let us rise. The people of age, please help the youths rise. Teach them the way. Show them the way. Black Americans, Jamaicans, be the ambassador of Africa. Until next episode, peace be with you.